Look at there, it won't be too long before I have some little tomato tomatoes to eat. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on that one. And I see 2 tomatoes and a bunch of blooms on that one. And I see some more tomatoes there. Now, what did I do with my lamb? I want you to look at this. This is one of those jalapeno mild or tame ones, and I want you to look how long that pepper is. That don't even look like a jalapeno. But it's done got long, and there's a bunch more coming on it. And I got some coming on this one. And that one. And that one. And this is a normal jalapeno here, right there. And over here. But now this one's a tame one. I'm fixing to stake these up. And look at what that pumpkin did right there. It started rotting from the inside out. My daughter was going to cut these up and cook them down and use them. But I called her I never seen one do that. Of course, that stem rotted off, so that might have had something to do with it. Just might have. Now I got to get over here and get my steaks. And this tomato plant, there's 5 tomatoes on that one, and about 5 or 6 on that one. I don't know if there's any more blooms. I'll be happy if I get them. They're tasty little old tomatoes. Just to pop them and eat them. And look at these. These are these Chinese sweets. Can you see that one? They don't get much bigger. That one's corking already, so it's pretty much ripe. They don't get too big, but they're good little old peppers. And I got several on here, and it's still blooming. So it's looking good. Alright, I got to stake them pepper plants. Alright, I'm going to stake this tomato pepper plant. That should hold that. Alright, that's got that. That's got that. Alright, let me stake this other one. Now, I'm planning on wintering these pepper plants over. Tomato plants, I'm not. But for some reason, you know what, I'm going to do it up high. Got that one up. and I'm gonna set this one up there. Let me get me another tie. I'm using my camcorder. I still can't figure out what it is. Now the camcorder, when I do a video on the camcorder, my video editor handles it. But when I use my GoPro, it doesn't want to, it says it's the wrong file. It don't accept that file. Now, I don't know what the crap's going on with that. Now, that new computer that I've got coming, well, it's not a new one, but it's a refurb. And that's going to have to do for now. Now, the one that wasn't running, and all of a sudden I messed with it and I got it to running, it's still running, and I haven't turned it off. I hadn't turned it off at all. Alright, I don't know what's going on with the GoPro camera. It's not working right. I'm kind of hoping maybe this new computer I'm getting tomorrow will straighten that out, but I don't think so, because the camcorder videos, the files are correct, but when I make a video on the GoPro and put the card in the thing, the Windows Movie Maker doesn't recognize it. So I don't know what's going on with that. Dadgone it. If it ain't one thing, it's another. Tomorrow I'm going to start taking a bunch of trash out there to where the garbage cans are at. Get rid of a lot of this stuff. I've been getting rid of a lot of stuff I didn't think I would get rid of, but if I got something and I ain't used it in a year, that might be hoarding. I don't know. I don't know. But at any rate, that's the plan. And as you can see, I've got tomatoes and peppers coming on. That back field we got behind the house here, boy, I'd love to have a big old garden out there. I'd love to plant a bunch of cabbage. But it takes equipment, and equipment I ain't got, and equipment I can't afford. Jaden is supposed to start back to school in the morning. And of course my daughter still ain't gone back to work. So we're still pinching pennies. You know, sometimes on my live streams, people will leave me a super chat or something, you know, for a couple dollars, $5. Barbara Everett left me one the other day for $9.99. And but the thing about that money when they leave it on the super chat, if I don't have $100 in my account off of my ads and stuff, they won't send me that money till I have $100 in the account. And it takes me a while to get it till it gets up to $100. However, I think right now I might be close to 100, so I'll probably get that this month. And I noticed some of them people that do live streams, some of the people that's got a few thousand subscribers and they get 30 or 40 people watching their live streams, they get $50 to $100 worth of super chats on their live stream. So at that rate, it don't take long to get up enough to where you get the funds. I don't think it's right that YouTube gets to sit on that money till you got $100 in there, especially on people like me that, you know, I've only got 1,300 subscribers, and out of them 1,300, I only have about 20 or 30 that watch and, you know, views my channel and stuff. If that whole 1,300 was looking, I'd be getting a little bit of change every month. But they just subscribed to me and forgot me. But I got some faithful ones, and I know who you are, and I'll tell you guys again, if you will, I really want to send out some Christmas cards this Christmas. But I can't do it if you don't email me at my email address, which is sheetdauber@outlook.com, and I'll make a note of that on the screen here. Send me your mailing address. I would love to send you a card and a picture. But I can't do it if you don't send me the thing. And by the way, I'm still looking for dirt. I still want to collect dirt. I had a whole collection, but I lost all of it somehow or another. I can't even remember now how I lost it. But I can't remember how I lost it. But if you send me that, sheetdauber@outlook.com, send me your mailing address, please. And I'd also like if you put a little note in there about your birthday. I'm taking notes, but and guys, if you can, of course, it don't do no good to share me out, because I ain't got nothing worth a p-diddly squat on my channel right now. And by not being able to use my my GoPro, that's really got me stumped about making videos I want to make, because I have to have it on my hat. Otherwise, I have to have this camera sitting up, and just like when I went and cut those canes, those bamboo canes, I couldn't cut the canes and video it, or me doing it, because it's the camcorder, and I can't hold the camcorder and all that stuff and do that. Well, you know how it works. I need some equipment, really, a new equipment. Now tomorrow when that computer gets here, I got a transfer cable where I hook it up to my old computer and to the new computer, and it transfers all that stuff over. But I think I got to have some software to do that, and I don't have it. And if I order a new transfer cable with the software, it's around $40, which I don't have. And tomorrow I'm going to get out there and try and make a video of me on that new scooter out here in the yard driving around so I can send it to Patriotic Kenny. Because I do want to know him I appreciated that. We got a spell going with Jaden. He's not super destructive about stuff, but he messes stuff up. That last garden hose I had that went bad, it messed up when he was messing with it. And he's got this thing about cutting stuff. He went in there down low on the kitchen wall with a razor knife and made some slashes in the wall. At first it looked like something was spilt on it, but it's where he cut it with a razor knife. And I don't. And let me show you this. That's the back of my headrest on my old computer, on my old scooter. All them holes you see in it, that's where he was stabbing. He was actually stabbing it. Yes, he was. I asked him why he done it. I don't know. But when they get me a new seat, that'll be gone anyway, but it don't matter. Oh boy. But he breaks stuff. And I'm trying to think of what else it was he did. It was something else he done that I was kind of teed off about. But he goes back to school tomorrow, and right now, his TV, you know, these new flat screen TVs are not worth a crap. They don't last. The least little thing, they go back. You see them sitting out all the time. Now, we had 4 TVs in this house. Donovan had one, your mama had one, I had one, and Jaden had one. Well, now the only one that has one is Donovan that works. The one sitting in there in the living room, you turn it on, it don't turn on. The one that I had in my room, you turn it on, it don't turn on. The one in your mama's and my daughter's room, I was going to say y'all's mama's room, but she's not y'all's mama. I'm used to saying your mama's this and your mama that, but so 3 of them don't work. Plus we had a couple more go bad in the last 3 or 4 years. They do not. I remember when you got a new TV, especially the black and white ones, they lasted forever. The picture wasn't as great, but at least they worked. At least they worked. They don't work. They don't last. They don't last. But I'm serious. And by the way, I'm making a New Year's resolution, and it's kicking in right now. I ain't waiting to January 1 to make it. I'm getting on my walker, using my walker in the house, and I'm gonna walk from my bedroom to the kitchen and back to my bedroom. I'm starting out 5 times a day. And once I get used to that, I'm going to kick it up. Every day I'm going to increase it one lap. That's actually walking. Because this scooting around in this chair ain't going to get me no better. That's my thoughts on it anyway. Hey, James.
What's up, Russell? How you doing, James?
Oh, man. Today is Sunday. I've got a live stream tonight. So, anyway, for right now, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I'm going to cut this video short. There's something else I want to tell y'all, but I can't. Joyce, I hope you're doing all right, dear, after your husband passed away. You know, that's what I really hate, especially when somebody gets married and you really love each other and you bond over the years and you get up around, in my case, it was 48 years we were together before my wife passed. And let me see if that's recording. Yeah, it's recording. And you bond, and then all of a sudden, unless sometimes people die at the same time or something, but in most cases, one of you's going to die first. And it's so hard. So hard. And in my case, too, I really didn't appreciate how much I had in my wife, my baby, till she was gone. But that one of you dies, and like with Joyce now, she's going through hell. She's missing her husband so much. I don't know how long they were married. And Joyce, her and her husband's the one sent me my coffee cup you see me with all the time. You know, and Barbara Everett, she just lost her husband, and now she's having to move in with her brother because she can't afford. I guess they were sharing their Social Security, and she could afford the rent then, but now she can't afford the rent, so she's moving in with her brother. And I don't know about Laney. I guess at one point Laney was married and had kids and grandkids. But it kind of makes me feel like, well, you know, when my son passed away in 1986, I had this feeling like, what is the point? What is the use? Him going to school and all that, and he dies at 14, so everything he had learned up to that point was for naught. That's the way I was thinking about it. And it was hard. It was really hard. And you know, he used to have these little plastic army soldiers, you know, and stuff, toys. And he'd take a handkerchief and some string and tie it to that man and throw that thing up in the air, and it would parachute down. And one day after he had died, it was several months, and I was really feeling bad. And I was sitting over looking at, I had some building blocks over at the fence, and he had broke one of them, and I was looking at it. But he had thrown that one of these soldiers up in the air, and it got caught up in the tree, and it was hung up there. And it hung up there for a long time after he had died. But when I was standing out there one day, all of a sudden, that thing broke loose from the limb it was hung on, and it come drifting down right in front of me. I cried so much that day. Yes, I did. And there was something else that happened the other day now, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, I was thinking about when my son died, you know. And we was for 4 or 5 years, we was having a real tough time dealing with it. And my grandson was born in 1990, so that was 4 years after my son died. Do you suppose maybe God was seeing how hard it was that we were dealing with my son not being out there, and then all of a sudden God gifted us with my oldest grandson, Donovan. You know, because when he was born, my daughter went back to school. It was like kind of like, I forget what they call it. It was a government college of some kind. And she didn't take him with us. She left him with us. She basically gave us Donovan. And we never felt trapped or stuck with him. We were so thankful. And I worried a lot about, as the years go by, if she decides she wanted him back. But did God gift us with that boy? Something to think about. Because I did stuff with Donovan I never did or never got a chance. Well, I probably had a chance. I just never took advantage of it. I did the stuff with Donovan I never did with my son. I did 14 years in the Boy Scouts with Donovan. And I was just different with Donovan than I was my own son. I hate to say that, but that's something to think about. Did the Lord gift us with that baby? I was so, boy, after he was born, and I had just recently been terminated from Walmart, and I was just proud as punch of that baby, and I went down to the Walmart just waltzing up and down the aisles with that baby, holding, taking to all the people I knew in there and saying, look what I got. Ain't he pretty? That was my baby. God bless him. And he's the one with cerebral palsy. Not real bad, but bad enough to affect him. But anyway, guys, I guess that's my story now, and I'm sticking to it. I get thinking about that baby boy, Donovan. Wow. Anyway, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.